final video of Bhakti Life 18 Simple Steps to Krishna, we will learn our final step of how to measure success. Evaluate your progress. How do we know we are advancing on the spiritual path? What are the measures? What should we be experiencing? Since Bhakti Yoga is actually a highly practical spiritual science, there are clear sign spots to help us evaluate our progress. Through a simple analogy, we can understand how. As we eat, we experience certain things like pleasure. A well-cooked meal gives an immediate sense of enjoyment to the tongue. It gives us nourishment. We feel nourished and revitalized with each bite. We feel detached. Gradually, our hunger subsides and we are no longer interested in eating. Similarly, symptoms should be experienced by the hungry spiritualist is also pleasure, nourishment, and detachment. The practices of bhakti are joyfully performed and they bring pleasure and satisfaction on a much deeper level. Anxiety and worry dissolve with a tangible feeling of solace and relief. With increased spiritual purity comes a direct experience of God. The soul feels nourished and life becomes infused with hope as we see God's hand in everything. Over time, we feel growing disinterest in material goals which we previously strived for. Although material desires still flow through our mind, we remain steady and convinced that there is something far greater beyond them. Progression on the bhakti path is not linear and one-dimensional. We will face challenges and obstacles on the way. There will be good days and bad days. As we grow in spiritual maturity, however, there should be greater experience of pleasure, a deeper sense of enjoyment, and a natural detachment from material things. These symptoms become more and more prominent in our lives. This gives us assurance that we are moving forward in our spiritual life. But what about if we feel little or no inner transformation? What if we don't feel joy or happiness from our practices? Then it is crucial to sit down and evaluate. Am I continuously bringing my full attention and care to the basic spiritual practices? Does my lifestyle support and foster deeper spirituality? Have I approached other devotees to receive their feedback and advice? This kind of regular, honest introspection is essential for a healthy spiritual life. We have to identify our blocks and make a concerned effort to create change.
Intention instills intensity. Intention refers to a conscious determination to do a particular thing. Intensity refers to focus, absorption in doing a particular thing. Many times in our spiritual life, we feel that we lack intensity. We try to meditate, but our mind is distracted. We study scripture, but we can't focus. So when we find that when we lack intensity in our practice of bhakti, then we don't get a taste in bhakti. Because what brings taste is the contact of our consciousness with Krishna. So we are here, Krishna is here, and when we practice bhakti, Krishna manifests through the activities of bhakti, and our consciousness connects with him. Just like if I'm drinking some sweet juice, if I'm feeling hot and I'm drinking some sharbat which is cooling, say, at that time the cold cooling juice has to actually go into my mouth, has to come in contact with me. If I just open my mouth but the sharbat is falling elsewhere, then I cannot get the taste. So there's contact has to be there between us and Krishna. Similarly, for us to experience higher taste, for our service to be pleasing to Krishna, by which he will provide higher taste. So that doesn't happen if we don't come in contact with him, and we don't come in contact with him if there is no intensity. So it's like Krishna, the nectar or the cooling juice is being poured, but we are looking mouth is elsewhere, so it just doesn't provide the satisfaction. So similarly, we don't get taste if there's no intensity. Now, how do we develop intensity? The development of intensity requires the cultivation of intention. Sometimes we just concentrate. It will not work. We cannot use brute force. There has to be inner inspiration, and inspiration will come. What am I doing? Okay, I am trying to study scripture. Why am I studying scripture? Because scripture is the means by which I can absorb myself in Krishna. Scripture is the means by which my intelligence can be nice. Scripture is the means by which I can worship Krishna with my intelligence. So in this way, when we meditate, then we understand the value of scripture, the necessity of scripture, the importance of scripture, and thus we can actually fulfill our need. We can just cultivate the inner motivation for outer intensity. Just like when we deeply want to do something, we strongly want to do something, then automatically we become absorbed in it. The person is interested, has a lot of interest in cricket. Then actually, even if there is a lot of distraction here, and the person gets absorbed in cricket. Similarly, when we have instilled in ourselves a great interest and inner intention in Krishna, then that will bring intensity. So rather than getting frustrated because we lack intensity, or just trying to use some brute force to try to get intensity, we can introspect and strengthen our intention. Introspect and study scripture. Why do I want to study? Why do I want to do a particular? Why do I want to chant? Why do I want to study? Why do I want to practice bhakti? And once we can strengthen our intention by such introspection, then automatically intensity will follow. So the Bhagavad Gita says in 2.41, Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana bahushakha hirantasya buddhayo vyavasayinam. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Vyavasaya means one-pointed determination. Atmika buddhi, spiritual intelligence. Intelligence about connected with the Atma, the soul. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana. Ekeha, only one is there. Kuru nandana bahushakha hirantasya. Bahushakha, there are many branches. Anantasya, many branches which go on almost to the unlimited level. Buddhayo avyavasayinam, for those whose intelligence is misdirected. Avyavasayinam, for them what happens? The intelligence is misdirected and then they cannot focus. So by cultivating this vyavasayatmika buddhi, we can become ekeha. By cultivating intention, we can attain intensity.